If you're a fisherman, you know that a quality fishing reel isn't cheap. So when I was scrolling Amazon the other day and came across a Baitcaster for only $7, you already know I had to order it.
And the Baitcaster just showed up in the mail today. Let's bust this baby open. What's up, guys? It's Blake or BD Bassin here. How are you guys doing today? And as you guys saw, I was just scrolling Amazon, buying some clothes and some random stuff, and I decided to look up the word fishing reel, and I ended up finding this. This is the Suga Yalang Baitcaster reel in red. I specifically chose red because I thought it looked cool. Pretty neat little box, and this thing literally costs $7. Not 70, not 17, $7. Without further ado, let's bust her open. Very professional, nice. This is how the reel shows up. It's got some insane high quality bubble wrap. First thing I see right here, 18+1. Smooth as butter. Okay, I don't know. I mean, obviously everything's loose on it. Look at that, boys. Freaking call this thing the Red Rocket. Look at that. Honestly, pretty good looking reel. You can already feel that it's very plasticky just from the body of the reel. For $7, really, we're not expecting a freaking aluminum body reel or anything. I mean, it's pretty, it feels smooth. It doesn't feel like, you know, super high quality. Let me reiterate again, it's $7. What are you gonna do? Pretty good aesthetic though. Look at that. That's a beautiful looking reel. All right, I'm actually gonna pull out my phone and we're gonna look up the specs on this reel. Okay, like I said, again, big selling point in this reel is the 18+1 ball bearings. This thing should be as smooth as a baby's bottom when I go and fish it later. You got a 7:2-to-1 gear ratio, which is pretty standard, pretty much the average baitcaster nowadays. Good do-it-all gear ratio. An aluminum spool, should be nice and light. Corrosion resistant as well, let's go. It's got a 10-button magnet brake system with 12 levels of adjustment for eliminating backlashes. It weighs 7.7 ounces. It's honestly not that bad. It's not too heavy. It does feel pretty light in hand. And then there's just some flicks of this reel. Look at that broad. She definitely does not fish. She don't even know how to hold them. Look at that. She's holding them wrong. It also doesn't say it like anywhere on the Amazon listing, but it's called the LP2000. Honestly, for $7, you can't complain as long as this thing works. Feels like the magnetic braking system's working. All the features, the drag, everything seems to be working. I gotta throw some line on this. That'll give me a much better gauge as to, you know, how good this reel actually is. But honestly, in hand so far, it does feel like it's gonna work out just fine to catch some bass. One thing we'll definitely not be able to test today is like the longevity of the reel, because if it works good today, there's no telling if this thing even holds up 2 weeks of hard fishing. But we're gonna spool this thing up, take it out to a pond, throw a few different baits on it, a little heavier, a little lighter, see how this reel handles it, and overall come to the conclusion if a $7 reel is actually worth buying. All right, guys, we're at the pond right now. I've got this baby spooled up with 10-pound fluorocarbon. Now that is on the lighter side, but I feel like I'm gonna have to fish pretty finesse baits, being that it's been hotter than the devil's titties out here lately in Illinois. Right now, I've got this Nico rig with that dome, 1/8 ounce Nico weight, Bambusa 5.3, I think it is. We're gonna fish this thing around. I got a couple other baits, brought a little bag full of some tackle out here. We'll be able to throw some different baits with different weights, see how this reel handles heavier baits as well as lighter baits. Let's get straight to it. All right, first cast to get this thing dialed in. Got it pretty tight right now, being that I have such a light bait. Dude, hang on, let me get another cast of that. I am legit kind of shocked at how effortlessly I casted that. And I got this thing pretty damn locked down right now, pretty tight. I was worried about an instant backlash, but kind of a W first cast. Now we're actually gonna fish this one back. What do I got my dragger right now? Pretty loose, which I actually need right now. Got light line, especially for a Baitcaster, as well as a pretty small gauge hook on right now. First cast though, BD Bassin is impressed. It ain't no 7 reel, but for $7, the fact that it even is able to cast is quite impressive. Straight into the wind. 1/8 ounce bait. Not trying to glaze, but I am a bit impressed. Also feels fairly smooth. I mean, 18-to-1 ball bearings, that is savage. They are probably, I mean, quite literally Temu ball bearings, but you know what? 18-to-1, you ain't seeing Shimano doing none of that. Like, don't get me wrong, this thing feels unbelievably cheap in hand, but as far as actual usability, it's functioning quite well. We'll see how it handles to a fish. Watch this drag just go freaking. We're currently at a pond that doesn't have a ton of numbers, but typically the fish I've caught out of this pond, a lot bigger than small, so. Oh, there's one. It's a nice fish. Reel's handling up to him right now. Look at that. Just gotta keep tension. Pretty damn light line. Loosen up that drag. It's a good one. That's a good one. I'm gonna drag you up here, buddy. Yes, yes, freaking yes. Let's go, baby. I'm not even gonna lie, that drag played him pretty smooth right there. That is a solid largemouth right there. Probably about a 3.5 pounder right now. A little bit skinny, summer bass. No complaints right there. Hooked him right where I wanted to on that Nico Bambusa. Look at that. Let's freaking go, baby. First fish on the $7 reel. Handled it like a dream. Honestly, that did not take long. Only been here about 10, 15 minutes. I am not gonna complain with that. All right, buddy. We're caught on a $7 reel. Really appreciate that eat, buddy. Yep, there you go. See you later. He swims right under the dead giant grass carp. I'm glad we got to test that against like an actual proper fish. It wasn't like a 1 pounder or something. I got to play that fish a little bit with the drag. Worked out pretty good. And now all of a sudden, we're on the boat. So the original day I filmed this video, ended up getting off the water right after that fish catch you just saw because I had a pounding migraine. Now it's a couple weeks later. It's actually a lot cooler out. The fall transition is finally here and the water temps are starting to cool down here in Illinois. But do not get it twisted. We are still finding out how good a $7 reel is. And I also stumbled across this Temu reel that I literally bought a couple years ago. Never got to make a video on it, but look at how neat that reel looks. We're gonna test that out with a frog. We will see how that goes. We'll see how that drag system goes. Let's get to fishing. All right, guys, well, I'm still rocking that 10-pound fluorocarbon on this reel. So we're fishing this little 1/4 ounce megabass spinnerbait. Got a very light wire hook, as you can see, very small gauge. This is one of my absolute favorites for river smallmouth and just downsizing in a spinnerbait in general. Little party minnow trailer. See if we can get bit. Another thing I love about this spinnerbait as well, got that little Colorado blade, and in this dirty water conditions, that thing puts off so much thump. Combined with the flash, these fish are gonna be able to find this bait pretty easy, even with a small profile. Got one. There he is. There he is. Let's go. Let's go. First fish of the day. First fish of the day, I'm gonna go for the flip. Let's go! I'm right in someone's backyard right now at sunrise, so I feel obligated to stay quiet, but look at that, guys. Just engulfed that little megabass SV3. Well, it's not one of those donks that we're gonna really find out how that reel stands up to, but a little pounder right there, absolutely cracking. That little megabass SV3 party minnow trailer, keeping the voice down out of respect for the homies that are probably sleeping. Incredible start to our session. Get you right back, bud. Like I said before, that was not a fish that's really gonna put this reel to the test, and longevity is gonna be a big factor with this reel as well, but I'm hoping we get ourselves into one of those 4 or 5 pounders that I know are swimming around here. There's plenty of them in this lake. And they'll really put this thing to the test, see if it can handle up to a big one. As much as I do know having the reel handle up to a really big fish is a big key, I think the biggest test, and it's a test that I'm probably not gonna ever find out, is the longevity of this reel. I fish all 7 reels, guys. 7 would be unbelievably upset with me if I ended up going with just $7 cheap Amazon reels. I don't think that's in our contract. But yeah, the longevity would be something you gotta test for yourself, unfortunately. A lot of wood in this lake. We're gonna fish around this little Atlas 55 square bill. Gonna fish this thing through the laydowns, rip it down the bank, see if we can get some bites. Now, this is primary bluegill fishery, but I'm really just trying to stand out in this water clarity, so I went for this bright white with a chartreuse and blue back. Should stand out real good in this water clarity, so should be perfect. Now, I made a square bill video the other day and I was telling you guys, fish these things through wood. A lot of you guys called me crazy in the comments, which when you're on the boat and you're fishing through wood, it's not a big deal. You just go up there, snag your bait after. If it gets caught up, typically they don't dive too deep. Square bill only goes 2 to 4 feet, so it's not like your bait's gonna be that deep, usually easy to retrieve. But I get it, if you're fishing from the bank, yeah, fishing a square bill can be tough. If you're throwing into wood, you're pretty cooked if you don't wanna go in the water. I get it. But in a situation like this, where if I get snagged in a shallow laydown, I can just go up and get it. Definitely worth fishing and getting those reaction strikes out of those fish that are chilling in or around the wood. But I hear you guys, I hear you. Oh my gosh, that fish smoked it. Dink, popped off. That's okay. About time we got bit on this dang square bill, man. Bite is tough this morning. Another one, man. Another fish just pulled right off. That sucks. Wow. I don't know how you're not staying pinned on this square bill. The hooks are so money on it. Oh, there's one. There's one. Stay pinned, buddy. Stay pinned. Need to get one of these square bill fish in the boat. It's not great, not terrible. I'm gonna go for the flip. Oh, he's barely hooked. Oh, I'm still gonna send it on the flip. I don't feel like grabbing him with or putting him in the net with these trebles. There we go, let's go. Let's go. Well, unfortunately for me, not a big one. Not a huge test for the reel, but finally was able to land one on that square bill there. Don't know how they were coming unbuttoned either. I don't know, these hooks are very sticky, very thin, but there we go. Another fish on the old $7 reel. She's holding up against these pounders. Not quite shocking. If you can't do that, you are not worth much. See you later, buddy. There's one on the Nico. Just tied this Nico, didn't even get to tell you guys. Fishing a little Nico rig yet again. Same bait, different color. As the beginning of the video, that's actually not a bad fish either. Slurped up the Nico. Oh my goodness, what a skinny, skinny fish. Oh my god, I actually think I've caught this fish before. In our last video, I am pretty sure I caught this fish. That is actually diabolical. Pencil thin, beat up tail. I'm pretty sure it's the same fish. Wow, look at that. Bambusa gone, poor dude. This is the same fish I said needed some milk. And yeah, he's still in need of that milk. Look at that, diabolical build. Hey buddy, appreciate that bite. You fought like a wet sock yet again. Get you right back. You swim away like a wet sock again. Wow.
Well guys, unfortunately, gotta bring this fishing mission to a conclusion. Also, sorry I'm squinting unbelievably bad. The sun is so freaking bright. But what are my final thoughts on the $7 reel, and do I think that you should buy it? Now, first of all, for $7, getting a working fishing reel is already impressive. It does exactly what it's supposed to. All the functions of the reel do work. Is it worth $7? Yes. Would I buy it? Probably not. You can just feel that this thing is unbelievably cheap. The plastic build to it, fairly inconsistent with the casting. I'm getting minor backlashes here and there, having to tweak the reel a little bit. It's not perfect, but if you're looking to spend legit barely any money whatsoever on a fishing reel, not a bad addition to your lineup if you want to give it a go. I'd recommend spending at least like $50 getting a reel from a good serviceable company. You're gonna get a lot more longevity out of that. I guarantee you after a few hard fishing sessions, this thing might be down bad. I didn't want to go too in depth on anything on this reel because obviously it's nothing special. It's literally a $7, basically Temu drop-shipped reel on Amazon, let's be real. It looks cool, it works. You wanna get a $7 reel? It works. See you guys in the next one, peace.